Okay. Hello, hello. How are you? I'm just going to wait a minute, see who pops on. Um, if you're watching the replay, please do hashtag replay so I can see. Hi, Dee. Okay, so today we're going to talk about boundaries. Now, boundaries are a bitch, and I will also cover a little bit today about why they're so hard for us. But also why they're so important. So, first of all, who needs boundaries? How do you know if you need to work on your boundaries? Okay, so first question. If you find yourself constantly getting disappointed or let down, if you find yourself feeling resentful of someone, and if you find yourself feeling disrespected a lot of the time, then those are the main indications that boundaries are something that you would really, really, really benefit from. Okay? Disappointment, letdown, resentment, and disrespect. Okay, so those are the big ones. Those are the really good indications that you need some boundaries. Okay. So this is going to hopefully help you a little bit in that respect. Now, why are boundaries hard? Okay, so they're especially hard for people pleasers. Now, a lot of us are kind of conditioned to please people, right? We've been raised from childhood that if we don't do as we're told, we get punished. And so we have as children, we're given too many boundaries in some ways. And so we learn that we need to please other people in order to be rewarded, get praise, get affection, get attention, positive attention, whatever. So we are conditioned to people please. And even more than that, especially women, we are conditioned to, sorry, phone call coming in. We are conditioned to self-sacrifice, especially previous generation, like our mothers were very, very much conditioned to sacrifice themselves. So they have to sacrifice their careers, their desires, their time, their energy to look after the home and raise the children, etc., etc. That's I'm generalizing, I'm oversimplifying because I have limited time. And so, yeah, basically we are raised to people please and to sacrifice ourselves. Very, very common. Okay. Hi Zoe, hi Sheila, by the way. So it is really, really hard to then put a boundary, because that means we're not sacrificing ourselves and we're not pleasing the other person. It's as though we're pleasing ourselves, God forbid, right? We're doing something for us. And so that feels very, very, very unfamiliar, which feels unsafe and very threatening to the system, right? Whatever is out of our familiar is a threat to the system. I say this all the time. Now, the thing is that we feel guilty when we put a boundary because we're putting our needs above the person's needs. Now, what if that person that we're putting a boundary for is our mother or father or lover or partner, sibling, friend, children, right? It is so hard. It is so hard to say, no, I'm not going to do this, for example, because I need to do this. for me or whatever, very, very, very difficult. I decided to talk about this today because it's come up so much with the conversations that I've had in this last week. And I'm going to give an example. Sorry about the dog barking in the background. Someone must be arriving. I gave an example, and I'm going to share it here just to kind of exemplify how hard it is, but then also how important it is. Okay. So when I'm recently stopped breastfeeding my 2-year-old, nearly 2-year-old, like 2 months ago. And so I stopped breastfeeding him to sleep. And so then he wants a cuddle to go to sleep because he used to breastfeed in the strangest position. I would be lying on my back and he would be on his knees with his like face on top of me. Like that's how we would breastfeed. That's how I would breastfeed. That was just most comfortable for me. And then he got used to sleeping like on his face like that, like on top of me. And so when I stopped breastfeeding, I was still able to give him a hug, right? And so I gave him a hug and that helped him, and that kind of like weaned him off the boob. Now the thing is that he was waking up in the night looking for the boob to fall back asleep. And now he was waking up in the night looking for a hug to go back to sleep, because that's what helped him go to sleep. He'd connected the hug with falling asleep. And so it's like he needed he would wake up from a sleep cycle looking for a hug. Okay. So he's still waking up in the night and I'm still waking up in the night. He's like, mommy, like, because he wants a hug. Now, here comes the boundary bit. If I want to sleep and we know how important sleep is, and he needs to sleep because we know how important sleep is, then I need to stop giving him a hug to go to sleep. Do you know how hard that is? It's a boundary. It's saying to my nearly 2-year-old, I'm going to give you a cuddle, but then now you have to get off me and you have to fall asleep without the hug, because I want to teach him to like fall asleep without a hug. I need to like disconnect the hug from sleep. And so it's a boundary. It's no, we're not going to have hugs now. Like now's hug time, now's not hug time. And that's okay. So I do give him a cuddle and then take him off me. And then he'll wake up in the night looking for a cuddle. And it's really hard for me to say, no, I won't give you a hug in the middle of the night. It was actually so hard for me to do that. Like I just wasn't capable of doing it like that, of just saying like going to him in the night and saying, no, I can't give you a hug. Like I just couldn't do that. So I told my husband that he has to go in the night, and that would be my way of, hi Lucy, morning. That was my way of finding a way to set this boundary. So instead of me going to the baby and saying, no, I can't hug you, I just removed myself from the equation and sent my husband in. So I guess it's a bit of a cop-out, but it felt better to me. Like it's still the boundary. The boundary is at night, he doesn't get mommy hugs. It's so sad. And it's really, really hard. But can I tell you that since I made that decision just over a week ago, because I was crying in the morning, I went to my husband crying, saying, I can't do this anymore. I cannot wake up 3 times in the night, 10 times in the night, whatever, because he needs the hug. Like, I can't do it. I can't. And I felt so guilty and so shit. And on top of that, I hadn't slept. I'm sleep deprived. I haven't slept in 2 years. Okay. Boundaries are so important, because now, since husband has stepped in and I've made that boundary of no more mommy in the night, baby's just not going to get access to me in the night. He's getting, like, husband's going in saying, you couldn't fall asleep. And he even gives him a hug sometimes. The baby doesn't want him, so he's just kicking him out of bed. But now he's falling asleep, and now he's waking up less. And like, I can hear him sometimes waking up, going like, and then he'll fall back asleep. And so we're sleeping. I've actually slept. He slept twice the whole night in the last week. And last night, hubby said he went to him at some point in the night and he fell asleep really quickly and easy. And I didn't even wake up from that. And so I slept 7 hours last night. I think it's sorry, low battery. I think it's the first time I've had 7 hours sleep straight in over 2 years. Yes, we need to celebrate today. This is a special day. And I feel much better for it. I feel so much better, like energetically, and it's just going to keep getting better now. And it's getting better. Baby's sleeping better, so he's going to be feeling better. Hey, mommy. So baby's getting sleep, mommy's getting sleep. Everyone's fucking happier. Everyone's feeling better. Everyone's healthier. Okay. And so all of that was because of a boundary that was set. It was the right time to set that boundary, and it was the right boundary, and it was a boundary that was very, very, very needed, and everyone's benefiting from it, except for maybe husband, but it's temporary. He's benefiting from it in the long run because we're all going to be sleeping better. He's taking one from the team, for the team. I've been taking it for the team for the last 2 years. So it's fine. It's his turn for like a week or two. He's taking one for the team. He's helping me implement a boundary that really needs to be set, and we're all going to benefit from it. Okay. So another kind of example of why boundaries are hard, but really, really important. I'm sad you stopped. Yes. I'm sad I stopped breastfeeding too. It was very sad. I cried a lot. And in like that exact moment, I knew that I was going to have another baby because I'm going to breastfeed again. So hopefully I'll be getting pregnant again. Maybe later this year, we shall see. First I need to sleep. Boundaries. Husband was like, let's have another baby. And I was like, boundary, no, we are waiting because I need to sleep. It is important for me to get sleep now. And I know that. And so I'm setting a boundary. No more babies for a few months, at least. But yeah, feel free to share with me, by the way, if there's like a boundary that, you know, that you're struggling to set. But it's so hard to do because sometimes it really goes against our instincts, like our natural instincts. And sometimes it goes against our conditioning, right? So as I said, you've been taught to please people. Putting a boundary would be like the opposite of pleasing people. So you literally feel that it's wrong. You're like, what I'm doing is wrong. I've been taught my whole life to do this way. This is the right thing to do. Keep people happy, do things for other people. You know, that's the way forward. That's the right thing to do. And then now people are telling you, teaching you, no. You got to do what you want to do. You got to put your boundaries, and you got to look after yourself, and you've got to prioritize your own needs, and you've got to meet your own needs, and you got to take care of yourself before anyone else. And you're like, hold the fucking phone. That feels really, really wrong. Why are my needs more important than anyone else's? Boundaries are so tough here. Been taught to people please, always working on them. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I had a conversation yesterday with someone about how hard it is because they don't want to upset the other person, but the other person is constantly asking for them, like to get, like demanding their energy, their time, and it's a parent. Okay. And so they find it really hard to put a boundary with their parent because it's their parent that they love and they don't want to feel guilty. And the parent knows that and makes them feel guilty when they try and put a boundary. So it's it can be even like way harder when the person in front of you that you're trying to put a boundary from really is making it even harder for you and makes you feel guilty. Yes, like demanding energy. You say, yes, like demanding energy, very hard to be rude. It's not rude. This is the thing. Okay, this is the point that needs to be corrected. And I'm using the word corrected. It's a strong word to use. because we've been conditioned a way that doesn't really serve us. And it's not rude to set a boundary. It is not rude to say no. Okay, now this is something that is so important. Okay, for example, how many women and teenagers out there do you think, maybe even you have done this, you didn't say no to someone because you didn't want to feel rude, right? And then you got molested or harassed or abused in some way. I damn know that it probably got me raped a few times, just trying to be nice and trying to not, like, you know, it's a very extreme example, but yeah. It's an extreme example, but you'd be surprised at how common it is. How often people just go along with things because they don't want to be rude or offend anyone, because we want to people please. Yeah, it is really, really important. And you know what? Tough truth. Yes, really tough truth. And I'd even go as far as saying that in some cases, boundaries is the like biggest thing that's like cock blocking you from the life that you want. So many people putting everyone else first. Boundaries helps you self-prioritize. Or when you self-prioritize, it helps you, like, it's give and take, right? Like when you self-prioritize, then you can set your boundaries. Set your boundaries, you can self-prioritize. It's like, and once you put your needs first, everything will start kind of falling into place. It feels really, really counterintuitive, right? It's like, but if I've been taught to please everyone, and if everyone around me is happy, then I've succeeded. Then I'm going to get back what I deserve. I'm going to be the good person. I'm going to be the one that's in the right, right? And good people and right people, they get all the rewards and they get the good things. Do they? I mean, I'd like to think so, but it doesn't really work like that. But as children, it's what we were taught. So I've got like lots of dog hair. I have a very fluffy dog when I was doing yoga on the floor before. So yeah. Where was I? We've been taught that this is the way that we will succeed in life, that this is the right way to behave. Put everyone else around, everyone else's needs before you. But then you think about the airplane example, right? And if you put everyone's gas mask on in the event of like when if there's a crash and you need to put gas masks on and no one can breathe, if you put everyone else's on and you're left without a gas mask, then you pass out and then you can't help anyone. Okay. Whereas if you put yours on first, you can help everyone. You can help everyone that needs the help once you have yours on. First, you have to put your mask on. First, you have to look after you. Once you can look after you, you are then able, far more capable of giving. So if you are someone who wants to give, you are a caregiver. That's like your archetype, right? That's like you are someone who wants to give back. You want to contribute to the world, to your community, to society, to your family. You are someone who really loves giving. You will be able to succeed way more and achieve that way more if you look after yourself first. First, give to yourself, and then you can do way more good to the world. Counterintuitive, sounds backwards, but it's not. And literally, it's something I say this, it's like I'm preaching it, I'm practicing what I preach. Okay. Like, as I gave you the example with boundaries for my kid, how am I going to show up for you guys, right? If I'm really, really exhausted? I mean, I'm managing, I'm doing it, but I'm struggling. I was struggling. You know, other things suffered. Other things around me were suffering and were paying the price. My husband, bless him, like I didn't have any time for me or for the relationship or for him for the last, like this is as well why they say that when you have kids, everything else kind of suffers around you unless you have literally like round the clock nannies, right? But I didn't want a nanny. I wanted to raise my own kids. And so I did make a conscious decision to sacrifice things. I sacrificed a social life, but I found it online, so that's good. I sacrificed watching TV. I love watching TV. I love watching movies. It's like a self-care act for me to watch a movie. So I make a point of watching a movie once a month, but I don't watch much TV. I've sacrificed going out. I've sacrificed so many different things because I prioritized being there for my kids and then not really sleeping. So I sacrificed my sleep as well. Now I've reached the point that I want to give more to you, to like my business, to myself. I want to, you know, do more exercise. I want to go out more. I want to socialize more. I want to like spend more time with my husband. And we've decided we're going to do once a week, we're going to have like a date day. Wednesdays, Lucy, by the way, it was our date day. And so, yeah, so sleep. I realized that I had to sleep. If I want to give more, I have to prioritize my needs. And so Tubby's taking one for the team and we're sorting out the sleep thing. And it's boundaries, right? And so people are gonna, yeah, thanks, Lucy. People are gonna like ask energy from you, time from you, things from you, and learning to say no. First of all, I think you need to figure out what it is that you want to prioritize, right? So when it comes to boundary settings, what are your priorities? Really have a look at your priorities and what do you need to prioritize more? What maybe are you prioritizing too much that can kind of go down the list a bit? Play around with that. You don't know what your priorities are. Start with your values. What do you care about? Okay. Would you like, I care about yoga, my body. I care about that. And I care about it enough to now prioritize it. So I knew I needed to get the sleeping sorted. I care about contributing and doing these lives and my business. And so I'm prioritizing it. I literally don't do much else other than this, like work with the content that I'm putting out. It's like, I love it. Because I want to share what I'm learning. Because this is so important. And this is stuff that we really, really don't learn. So yeah, people pleasing is wrong and boundaries are right. Is the summary. No, obviously we want to make people feel good around us, right? But you're going to make them feel really, really good if you're feeling good. And you're not going to be feeling good if you don't have boundaries. You're going to be feeling disappointed. You're going to be feeling let down. You're going to feel resentful. You're going to be feeling disrespected. Okay, so before I finish, I'm just going to give another example because why a lack of boundaries makes you feel disrespected, let down, and all those things. So I'm just going to explain. Okay, so let's say you're someone that you do for, let's say for your friend. Okay, you're going out, you're going to the places they want to go. They're calling you up. They're like, let's do this, and you're like, I don't really want to, but okay, I'm going to please them. I'm going to keep them happy. I'm going to be a good friend. I'm going to do the right thing, right? I'm going to do what they want to do, and I'm going to keep them happy. I don't want conflict. I don't want to be rude. You know, they say they want to go to this place, to that place, so we're going to do what they want to do. But then when you say what you want to do, when you find the balls to be like, I really want to do this, and they're like, oh, no, I don't want to, let's go over here, then you're like, dude, that's really disappointing me. That's really letting me down. I do everything that you want to do. And one time I ask for something and you're like, no, I feel really disrespected now. I feel taken advantage of. I feel resentful. Like I don't want to do things for you anymore because I'm doing them all the time. But you're not appreciating it, obviously, because you have the balls to like the gall to say no when I'm asking for the one thing I ask for. If you had boundaries and you would communicate better what your boundaries are, like, no, I don't want to go there. But you know what? I'm happy to do it this time because I want you to have a nice time and I'm okay with that, but I don't really want to go there. And next time, if you want to go, I'm going to say no. Okay. Then you won't be so disappointed. You won't be so let down and you won't feel disrespected because you're communicating your wants, your needs, and you're putting boundaries. And next time your friend says, oh, can we go here? I really want to go. And you're like, I don't really want to, no. And they were like, okay, all right then. What do you want to do? And I was like, I actually want to stay and watch a movie. And they'll be like, oh, okay, fine. We'll do that. And you're like, oh, yay. And you feel happier. And now you want to, everything's going to be nicer and friendlier and happier because you're feeling happy. You're not feeling resentful. You're not feeling disappointed. You're not feeling disrespected. Everything looks better now. All because you put a boundary. Small example, just off the top of my head. But yeah, okay. So if you're watching this and you want some help with your boundaries, then feel free to send me a message and we can set up a little call and I'm happy to walk you through helping you set a boundary. Figuring out what it is, how to set it, how to maintain it. Because yeah, it is hard. It is hard. And you're going to feel really guilty and really shit doing it at first, but it gets easier with practice. A lot of practice. A lot of practice. It will get a little bit easier. And that's it for today. All right, guys. Love you all. Thank you for coming.